Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're going to be talking about 90 Day The Single Life Season 3 Episode 2. The Single Life is rolling again and we're just going to get started with our singles. So today we're going to start with Debbie, Mother Debbie, and Tony. So last week we seen Debbie and Colt get into it. Colt came to pick up the rest of his stuff and leave, and they got into a big argument and everything, and that left Debbie crying. So in this episode, the next day she's like basically recovering from that, and she's preparing for Tony's arrival. Tony's coming from the British Columbia in Canada to come to Las Vegas to spend time with Debbie. So Debbie gets everything ready. She looks very nice, gets all dressed up. And she goes out to this restaurant, bar, or whatever, and there's Tony. And so she meets up with Tony. They just have like a really, really nice little date. It was like two older peas in a pod. It basically was. They had a nice little conversation, just talked about what they want and stuff. Debbie's about to turn. It's like the day before Debbie's birthday, so Debbie was picking out some like really like sexy lingerie and stuff because she actually wants to, really get intimate with him and stuff. So, Debbie's really trying to be young at heart again, and it's working. So they had their date. Then he invited her to go back to his hotel room. As soon as they got into the hotel room, all they did was just kiss and make out. And more than likely, they, got the groove on. But you know what, as weird as it was watching, I mean, I wouldn't say weird, but, I didn't want TLC to make make it a little too adulterated, but Debbie and Tony really do have like a strong connection, so I'm really hoping that this works out for Debbie, because Debbie deserves it. She's been through a lot. She lost her husband 13 years ago, and so she's just ready to like start all over. Colt is now acting like a grown adult a little bit, and finally moved out to be with his wife, so it's Debbie's turn to find love. So kudos to Debbie and Tony. I hope they do well. I think everybody's really pulling for Debbie and Tony. Everybody wants to see Debbie out of anybody this season. Debbie to find love. So that's just that. So yeah, that was Debbie and Tony. Next I want to talk is Tanya and her man Joel or whatever. So last week, Tanya, she's still in Aruba on vacation, and she met this guy Joel, and they go out and stuff, but Tanya confesses to him that she's still legally married. She keeps saying, "Oh, I'm divorced in every way possible. I'm separated. We don't talk no more. I feel like a divorced woman. Just on paper, I'm not divorced. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that I'm divorced and stuff." And her date, Joel, they're still riding in the car. He took her like to this cave thing, and they talked. But Joel is still not over the fact that Tanya is still legally married. He feels like he's dating a married woman. And like, and yes, it's early in the relationship. Not even a relationship, but like, what if it does get serious? What if she wants to remarry? Tanya cannot remarry until she gets legally divorced. So it's good to plan ahead. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but she's still legally married, and that's not gonna sit well with him. I think they actually have like a nice little connection, and like, I think Tanya really likes this Joel guy, but he's gonna be really held back and still not over the fact that she's legally married. So that was basically their topic of discussion with that. So yeah, I mean, we didn't see much of Tanya and her man, but that was we only saw them for one scene. So now the Single Life, their episode, on regular 90 Day Fiancé, the episodes are 2 hours. The Single Life, except for the first episode and the tell-alls, they're only 1 hour. So there's not much content to go over. But the last two couples I'm going to do after I do Natalie is going to take me a minute. So Next up, I want to talk is Natalie. So Natalie and Josh. So last week, Natalie slams the door on Josh because she thought that Josh wanted some. Natalie is so eager to be in a relationship with Josh, and Josh is really taking it slow with her. You know, Natalie is she's still like really goofy and like really awkward around him and stuff. And, you know, it's cute, but I think eventually it'll become a turnoff for him. And sometimes she has no filter either. Like, she'll say some really ignorant things she'll say some things that come out very ignorant sometimes. And she's still gung-ho about the fact that he has multiple kids with multiple women. You know, sometimes it's just like that. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. So this episode, Natalie and Josh, they go on a picnic date at the beach. And they actually had they talked for a little bit, and they actually had a nice little discussion. And they actually really had like a big passionate kiss. They had a really nice passionate kiss. I actually felt it was genuine. But Natalie still wants a title on Josh. She really likes this Josh guy, but he's not putting a title on them. You know, like I said, he's still wanting to take it slow. And she actually wants a relationship with him. You know, but she says that, but then she does those weird things about like slamming the door in his face and everything and stuff. So I really don't know what she really wants, in my opinion. I mean, judging by the previews later in the season, I know she's going to get back with Mike and try to get back with Mike. So like, I'm sure that this ain't going to work out. But I mean, she's really awkward, a little cringeworthy, and she has no filter. And I've never been a big fan of Natalie because of those reasons. So I hope something works out for her. But I mean, she seems happier without Mike, but I know deep down inside that she still has feelings for Mike. And that's just my opinion on that one. And yeah, so we only see them for one scene. So next I'm going to talk is Caesar. So last week we saw Caesar. He talked with this Ukrainian matchmaker, and he wants to come to Ukraine to find love. He has a thing for Ukrainian women, and he wants to just find a good Ukrainian woman. So he flies to Ukraine. He goes and meets up with the matchmaker. They talked about what he had on his dating profile, and she discussed with them like how this like matchmaking process is gonna be. I guess he's gonna be doing like some kind of like speed dating or like some kind of like speed test run with multiple women to see who he likes the most and stuff and everything. So when he met up with the matchmaker, Katerina or something like that, you know, she said that she thought that Caesar was attractive. You know, his profile was good. Like he had nice pictures and whatever. Caesar, when he got to the Ukraine, like he did feel uncomfortable at first because he was the only African American man there. And yeah, and even on Pillow Talk, when I was watching Pillow Talk last night, yes, Stephanie had mentioned in Eastern Europe there's not much diversity. So, you know, some people are like, well, this may work in his favor or not. You know, so I mean, so I really hope that he doesn't have to deal with those kind of issues while he's in the Ukraine. But I hope that people do accept him for who he is and stuff. So yeah. So later, Caesar goes to the place where he's about to meet all these women. He gets in a limo, and there's like 4 or 5 other guys in the limo, and that's going to the same place that Caesar's going. And Caesar was just so shocked that he seen these other guys. He's like, oh, I thought I was doing this by myself. I thought I was going to go on these dates with like 12 women and stuff. I'm like, dude, did you honestly think at a public place like that you were going to be the only man? Like, he's like, and then he got like really uptight. He was like, I don't do well with competition. I think he got very intimidated because it's like, these guys also, they have really good jobs. He's a nail tech. He's a male he works with, he does things with nails at a nail salon basically, and all these other guys are like doctors and like do all these other cool manly jobs. And I think Caesar was very intimidated by those guys, but he had a nice conversation with them, and nobody judged them and stuff. He told him his story about what happened with him and Maria and everything. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this, but I don't know what he thought about what he thought that he was just going to be alone in this. I thought that was pretty amusing. So he was alone. He thought he was alone, but he really wasn't. So he had some competition. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, looking at the previews, it might go well, but I don't know how it's going to be for the long run. So yeah, that was Caesar. And last but not least, on this is Veronica. We meet Veronica. So Veronica, Veronica is actually not a member of the original 90 Day universe. She's actually more famous for Pillow Talk because her ex Tim was on the show back on season 3 of Before the 90 Days. Tim, his journey, he was with Jennifer. But before Jennifer, he actually was with Veronica. They co-parent Veronica's daughter, Chloe. And Tim is not Chloe's biological father, but he's been in Chloe's life basically her whole life. Now, Veronica, they put Veronica on the show. She's just more famous for Pillow Talk. When her and Tim do Pillow Talk. So they decided to give Veronica a chance to be on the show for her journey on the single life. So her and Tim dated years ago, and they broke up, but they still remain like great friends. Veronica mentioned that they're still best friends, that she feels like he's actually one of her girlfriends. Like, so there's always a lot of debate on social media and even on the show that think that Tim might be gay and stuff. He is not gay. Some people think like the way he talks or dresses and how he's just not amused by things that he might be gay. Now, that's just Tim's personality, in my opinion. He's made it very clear that he's not gay. I think he actually has a girlfriend, and so I hope people can put that to rest. But to make a joke about that, saying, he's just one of my girlfriends Veronica said that he's one of my a best friend that's a male and a girl with a what. And that was a disgusting analogy that she put that in. I mean, I'm not a fan of Tim because he is very bland and very, very judgmental, and just nothing phases him. And it just comes off really arrogant at times, it's like a soft arrogance, I feel like. So, but nonetheless, Veronica's on the show. So the episode starts out with them, they're both in bathrobes, and they're giving each other massages, with these massagers and stuff. It was just, okay, why are you both if you're not together and stuff, why are you in bathrobes on the bed giving each other massages and stuff? With those massages, I don't get it. But anyway, Veronica mentioned she met a new guy online. His name is Justin. He actually looks like Tim a little bit, just more of a cleaner cut version of Tim. And she meets with Justin. They go out on a date. Veronica and Justin go out on a date. They had a nice little date, good conversation, and everything. Now he does know about Tim. They know that they co-parent and stuff. Every guy that Veronica meets, she tells him about Tim. And so he was already aware of that. So, but anyway, she goes on a date. They had to go out to a nice little restaurant and then have a nice little conversation. And here's where the awkwardness comes into play. Justin comes back to Veronica's house, and Tim is actually at the house waiting on them. And when they walked in the house, Veronica's like, "Oh, you're here. What are you doing here?" And it just felt really awkward. And so they all went to sit down at the table. Veronica went up to get to the kitchen. Tim asked how to go with her. And Veronica's like, well, her standing right there and could hear all the conversation. and it was just like complete awkward silence. And it was Tim basically blocked her. The letter word C blocked her. And so Justin was just really weirded out. He was just like, okay, this was fun. So him and Tim left the house together. Tim was like, I'll walk you out. I'll walk you out the house. It's pretty dark out. I'm like, now when he did that, I'm like, bro, I'm sure this guy's a guy. It's not that dark. He can find his car and get out. He don't need you to walk with him. But the way that Tim was just there waiting and blocked Veronica like that was just that was just weird. And he said, well, you know, you're not going to get close to this girl. This used to be my house. Key word, used to be. Tim actually has his own place. I mean, he's over at Veronica's a lot. He's at his own place. And the key word used to be. And so the fact that he did that was just kind of crazy. And I know Veronica was irritated with that. So we're gonna see in the next week's episode how that plays out. But I know that Justin guy was really weirded out by that. I know Veronica was irritated, you know. And then once again, nothing really phases Tim. So so yeah. But anyway, guys, that was the single life. Yeah, we still have not seen Tiffany. Yeah, I can't wait to see Tiffany. But we seen everybody else. I'm really pulling for Debbie and Tony. Debbie and Tony. That's right now the power couple right now. And I'm really hoping Caesar finds love. It's gonna be hard for him, but I'm really pulling for Debbie and Caesar. Everybody else, we'll see how it plays out. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll be back on tomorrow, Thursday, to do Married at First Sight. And I hope you guys have a great day.